so much for this presentation tonight. My name is Victoria Cambranes. I'm a candidate for City Council District 33, so that's why I'm here. I'm also born and raised on this, and I'd like to, first of all, highlight one really important factor about your presentation. It's very well presented. The data looked really fantastic. However, on the ground, to the people who really live here, and sorry, I know you didn't do this. I know you weren't here during the rezoning. But on the ground, there's a very different effect to the little dots in the data on the charts on this screen. And so I think we need to remember that on the ground, people are struggling, people are suffering, people have had cancers, and the death rates have been astronomical because of the environmental factors. There are remediation plans that are destroying our environment right now. We are not prepared for another Sandy, and the glass towers on the waterfront are going to create a cooling effect, which will flood more of our homes. There are people here who want to apply for a lottery system for affordable housing, which they can't get into. And there's a lot of discrimination involved with affordable housing. I personally believe the affordable housing project is a complete and utter scam. And we should have done away with this idea of affordable housing a long time ago. What we need is truly economically available apartment units for people who are making $28,000 a year, for people who are making $30,000 a year, or under 40 for a household. That's the kind of people who lived here and grew up here with me, and they're no longer around. So when you talk about affordable, you're talking about a sliding scale, you're skewing the fact that the AMI includes Long Island and Westchester. Those are the types of data points that you should have been pointing out today. So to completely whitewash the story of the 2005 rezoning is completely wrong. And I think people in this room know that, and we're trying to be as nice as possible about it because we know that you're not here to sort of do that, and we weren't responsible for it. But that is the real truth of what's going on here. There are people who are really upset still to this day about the fact that it's been 14 years and we still don't have a full Bushwick Inlet Park. We were promised promenades, we were promised a continuous walkway, and we were promised lots of other things. We were promised $100 million for tenant harassment protections and to allow people to stay in their homes. None of these things materialized, and we're pissed. We're pissed. So when, Brian really rightfully talked about redoing this whole idea, that is something we absolutely need to look into and say no to any more of these spot zonings and understand that what's going on now in Gowanus is not going to be a repeat of what you did to us here. Because DCP did do this to us here. You displaced our tenants, you displaced our community members, you completely changed the racial demographics of this, and I just to give you an example, your methodology for the census data is completely inadequate. Using sample data is completely inappropriate when you're talking about real people with real families and real children. Your methodology for the affordable housing is also inadequate, skewing the AMI, skewing the sliding scale of the units that are available and who can apply for affordable housing, skewing the demographic data about the share of whites being exactly the same when you know that immigrant Polish communities have been completely run out of Greenpoint and replaced by non-Polish Americans from other states, completely skewing the fact that the $400 investment in Bushwick Inlet Park also included $150 million for the owners of the land, which wasn't really an investment, should have been bought a long time ago. These are really skewed methodologies, and trying to paint a different picture of what really happened is not going to win over any hearts and minds in this neighborhood. So.